Happy mid-morning, guys. All right. So, if you're like me, you've probably started, or maybe even finished, the cleanup from Christmas. You've put together the toys for the kids. You've put together the toys for you, whatever you would be. And you feel pretty good about yourself. It's like, hey, I got a couple more things. Santa brought me a couple more preparedness tools or whatever you need. I'm right there with you. Okay. But here's the catch: you can't buy your way to being prepared. Simple as that. Okay. For Christmas, my Santa list, if you will, was, as usual, full of preparedness items. And Santa brought me a compound bow for one thing. Now, I'll give you this: I have never in my life shot a bow, ever. Okay. I mean, other than when you were a kid taking a stick and putting a rubber band on it and it didn't work. Okay. But I now have a compound bow. Not an expensive one or anything like that, but one that I can learn with. All right. The skill of using the bow is more important than having the bow. Okay. Santa brought me a heat mat for my seedlings. I know how to use that. I needed another one. I have the skill to use it. I know which plants I should be using it with and which ones I shouldn't. Okay? That's a tool that I have. But if you don't know how to use it, it's useless to you. Okay? And this is where I'm kind of going with this. In the last couple of days, I've been putting things away, cleaning out some of our prep room, I guess, if you will, to use it for any other term. Reorganizing a few things. Cold weather means do work inside. I've spent my morning here cutting up cardboard boxes. Why? Cardboard boxes that most people throw either in the trash or in the fire pit have a lot of good uses, and people just get rid of them. Okay? You can shred them up and compost them. You can use them as a weed barrier in gardens, whatever it would be. It's a free resource that people throw away. Okay? Most people, if you drive down the street, if you're in suburbia, okay, where there's trash pickup, I'm not talking about the country where we take it to the dump, or the city where you throw it in the street. I'm talking about you, New York, and your annual garbage strike. It's a resource that people don't know what to do with and just get rid of it. Okay. It's the knowledge that you have. I can't go to Walmart. I can't go to Tractor Supply and buy knowledge. I can't buy skills. The only way I can get those is by getting my ass out of a chair and learning about it and doing it. That means a lot more than watching a YouTube video. I can go watch a YouTube video on how to skin a squirrel, but until I've ever done it, I don't know how to do it. You're lying to yourself if you think you do. Okay? You look at anything that people have, say your weaponry, for example. I guarantee you in the last 2 years, there have been a whole, we know this for a fact, there have been a whole lot of people that have went out and bought firearms. Okay? I guarantee you there's a whole lot of firearms owned in this country that are clean as the day they were bought and probably have a nice light coating of dust on them because they've never been fired. You look at people who don't even know how to load a magazine for a weapon. Certainly don't know how to take it apart and clean it. Okay? But I'm protected. I have a weapon. Okay, this isn't point and shoot. I go back to the movie, if you remember, True Lies, and Jamie Lee Curtis, and the one scene where she drops the Uzi, I believe it was, down the stairs, and it just fires and fires and fires and kills all the bad guys. That's literally people's plan for how they're going to defend themselves. I've got this. I don't know what to do with it. Maybe it'll just do it on its own. Okay. This is the thing. Everything that you have, do you know how to use it? I mean, I'll give you a great one. You went out and bought a pair of boots, a real good, let's say you bought a pair of Timberland boots or something like that, $200, $300 for a pair of boots. And they still look all nice and pretty sitting in your closet because they've never seen dust, let alone dirt, let alone mud, let alone snow. And the first time you put those boots on, you're going to get in an SHTF situation, because that's what people are saving it for. These are my boots when the world goes to hell. And the first time you put the boots on, you go walk around for the day, you come in at the end of the day and you got blisters all over your feet, and now you can't walk for a couple of days because you never broke them in. Okay. You need to use the gear you have. You need to learn how to use the gear you have. You can't buy your way to preparedness. Just because you have something does not mean you're prepared. You look at all these people who have built bomb shelters in their backyard, or these multi hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million survival shelters and everything that they have, and they don't have a clue how the thing operates. I always laugh when I'm going to go get myself a Connex or something, and I'm going to bury it in the backyard, and it's not that difficult. I'll put a set of stairs down to it, and we'll be able to stay in there. Okay? Oxygen. What are you going to do about that? You're underground. Oh, we have a vent pipe outside. Really? You don't think that stands out to a bad guy? Hey, guys, you know what? There's probably people down there. Let's plug up the oxygen hole. What do you make it? 12 hours? Okay. Honey, I gotta pee. Oh, I never thought of that part. Okay. They're great for tornado shelters when you're going to be in there for an hour or two. Not exactly the most brilliant idea when you go in and say, I might have to live in here for 6 weeks. Okay. Now you go and spend millions of dollars on it and go, this didn't work. Okay. And yes, there are very extensive ones that you can get that have filtration systems and, water and everything like that. Sure. Okay. And I'm going to safely bet that is out of the budget for 100% of the people watching this channel. Okay. Just saying. But those people have a false sense of security when they do something like that. They put it in the ground and go, I'm cool. I'm covered now. I got it. Okay. Have they ever tried to live down there for 2 days? Nope. Okay. Just because you have something doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. The aforementioned shelter companies, they're great salespeople. They make a lot of money. Is their product worth anything? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. If I had the government's checkbook and I didn't have to worry about paying the bills, I want to put my money personally somewhere where I have a little bit better than maybe as whether or not something works. Okay. You don't go to a car lot and say, hey, I'm looking at that pickup truck. Tell me about it. Well, it might run. Cool. Let me write you a check. Okay. Remember, these companies are in it to make money. They don't care if you survive. You go spend $100 or $500 or $1,000 or whatever on freeze-dried food. Okay, great. They're making the money. At the moment you run that credit card, hand them a $100 bill, write a check, do whatever. They're done, okay? Does it work? Who knows? Sorry. It's like these things that you hear all the time. Lifetime guarantee, okay? Remember Craftsman tools back when Sears existed, okay? You could bring a tool back from 1940, and if it breaks, we'll replace it today. Yeah, and they did for 50 years, whatever, 60 years doing that. Where are you going to take a Craftsman tool now? You might get something made in China to replace it if you can find somebody that'll honor that warranty. Lifetime guarantee doesn't mean your lifetime or the lifetime of the tool. Lifetime guarantee means as long as the company exists, okay? That's the same with your preparedness. Your lifetime guarantee is only as long as you have the skills, not necessarily the tools, but the skills to extend the lifetime of you another day. There are so many people out there who think they are God's gift to survivalism, okay? There's some that are very good, okay? I mean, you give me a Navy SEAL, you give me some guy who is Special Forces, something like that, I'm going to say they got a real good chance, okay? There are a whole bunch of weekend warriors that think they have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I've never claimed to have all the answers. All right? If the world goes completely FUBAR, I've got skills, probably a few more than a lot of people, but depending on how FUBAR we go, I'm, cattle to the slaughterhouse too, just like anybody else is, okay? I don't have all the skills to live in the middle of the Sahara Desert for 3 months, without water. There's some people who probably could. I'm not one of them, all right? You listen to all the people who say, I'm going hunting, I'm going fishing, I'm going to do this. You ever hunted before? No, but I own a gun. Cool. You ever fished before? No, but I know how to put a worm on a hook. Cool. Okay. Enjoy starvation. All right. Do I know how to hunt? No, not well. Not at all. Do I know how to fish? Yes. Okay, that I can do. All right. So, skills to have, skills to learn. Sure. What's the point of getting the bow? Okay. First, I got to learn how to shoot it, and then I've got to learn how to effectively use it for hunting, for defense, for whatever. There's a big difference between using a tool out in the backyard, bow, gun, whatever, slingshot, pick something, at a stationary target and at something that is moving, potentially, okay, while your heart is racing, while you're breathing heavy, just after you finished a 200-yard run. Big difference. While you're getting shot at, okay, as opposed to, okay, get your stance right, breathe correctly, both eyes open, squeeze, yeah, okay. Big difference. You can't buy your way to preparedness. You have to train your way to it. And none of us is ever going to get there. I'm sorry, that's the truth. As I've said many times, prepping is a journey. It is not a destination. There's always something new that you could learn. I've got maple trees on my property. Do I know how to make maple syrup? Nope. Okay. Is it something that I could learn? Yup. Okay. It's a sugar source. There's a whole bunch of things. We talked about radios. Do I know Morse code? No. Is it something I want to learn? Yes. Okay. You could find dozens of things that you don't know that could be beneficial to you. Find one right now. and commit yourself to learning how to do it. It may be small. It could be, I've had this canner in my house for a year. Maybe it's time I learn how to can my food. Okay? Because just having the canner doesn't mean you know what you're doing. You got to get out and do it. Again, you can't buy your way to preparedness. You have to train, you have to learn, you have to have the experience on how to do it. And a lot of times the way you get that is by asking other people who've done it, especially in this community, because somebody may know canning better than you do. Somebody may know weaponry better than you do. Somebody may know gardening better than you do. And you can watch all the videos in the world, but until you get out and use what you've been told, you don't have the skills. Walmart ain't selling them to you. It's cold. Learn something. Figure out how to do it. There's plenty of things you can do when you're stuck in a house for the next 2 months, 3 months, or whatever, that you can learn. If you already know how to garden, you don't need to learn more. Stop watching all the gardening videos. Go watch the videos on Morse code and figure out how to do it. If you already know how to can vegetables, you don't need to watch any more canning videos. Go watch the videos on how to use a ham radio. Go study. Go get your ham radio license. Okay, not that expensive. And start practicing with that. So when the time comes, you don't go, what do all these buttons mean? It's winter. It's slow. We're before planting. We're after harvesting for most of us. I mean, some people still have some, way south or whatever. If you got a greenhouse that didn't freeze, maybe you have something that you can be doing. But there's plenty of other things that you can do right now to prep. And none of them cost a penny. Pinball out.